Welcome back to another episode with ByrdAdatto. We have, over the last couple of weeks, been talking about a lot of different aspects of compliance. And one thing we talked about several weeks ago was a reminder to everyone that there are a lot of laws out there that affect you in the med spa industry, medical industry, anything that has to do with healthcare. There are a lot of rules and regulations. And one of those has to do with how you promote yourself. And we have a guest who's been with us several times already, but we wanted to bring him back to really start talking about that. So, Michael, please introduce our guest.
And I don't have any regulations on how I promote this guest, so I'm free. This is our partner, Jay Reyero. He has been with us for many years and is the ByrdAdatto secret weapon. So I'm sorry, Jay, I'm setting expectations really high for you. For the rest of this conversation, but I know no other way.
Thanks, guys, for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jay, one of the things we have talked about in the past, especially in the healthcare industry, is advertising, and that there are certain rules in place. And we, in a video we did a couple of weeks ago, was warning everyone in the healthcare industry, be very careful how you're advertising and what you're advertising. And I wanted to bring you back in to start talking about what some patterns, unfortunately, that we're seeing where the FTC and the FDA are coming out and really reminding people. And I wanted you to run with that one.
Yeah, so during this COVID pandemic, there have been a lot of relaxation of certain laws by certain federal government agencies. But when it comes to advertising, that is not the case. And in fact, the FDA and FTC has been fairly active in issuing warning letters to over 90 different companies related to unproven COVID treatments or claims for cures. And so this goes back to the very basic, whether it's medical advertising rules or federal advertising rules, that your advertising cannot be false, deceptive, or misleading. And what we're finding are a lot of these bad actors are making claims that certain types of services or certain devices are either going to prevent COVID, or they are going to protect you against COVID, or they are going to be a cure of COVID, none of which is scientifically proven. And so we're seeing these letters. And so it's just a reminder that as you kind of get back out there in business, you're trying to ramp up your business again, and you're taking some marketing efforts and trying to figure out a way of creatively getting patients in the door. Just be mindful that you still have to adhere to these prohibitions on false, deceptive, and misleading advertising, and just be careful with what you're saying, because there are eyes out there, and particularly if you're involved in the antibody testing or the new antigen testing, you really want to be cognizant of what language you're using and making sure that anything you put out there could be quantified or could be supported with documentation if it's ever called into question.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of you've been closed or partially open, and you're finally getting your chance to reopen. And the next thing you know, you get a letter from the FTC telling you to shut down or cease and desist or take all your advertisement down, or you get a letter from the medical board investigating you, and now you're going backwards. So I love your perspective there. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Well, and I've seen a couple of examples that probably are people thinking that they're just being good businessmen that are, we're closed, I'm going to, try to sell some testing kits, or I'm going to try to, do, some sort of IV hydration with vitamin C that will help build up your immune system and keep revenues going. And, they go too far with what they promise. In some cases, like really too far, like this will cure you. But, I think the point that stands out, Jay, is that there may be some relaxation, but not as it relates to taking advantage of the COVID pandemic.
And I think that always goes back to something I know, Jay, you've said multiple times is, be very careful with the words you're using, because your marketing people may not be coming from the healthcare industry. And because of that, they say, oh, we can use these exciting verbs and adjectives to describe what you're doing. But and unfortunately, it becomes false, deceptive, or misleading. And especially, as Michael said, if you say right now you're curing COVID by doing A, B, or C, that's pretty much considered false, deceptive, or misleading. I don't know, Jay, if you have any other follow-ups?
No, but I think just be vigilant. Look at your language, and if you have marketing company involved, just make sure that they're aware of the healthcare rules at play, and everybody can be on the same page.
Awesome. Thanks again for joining us, Jay. It's always good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Until the next time, we look forward to speaking with you.